Well, hi there folks, Simon here, Aria's pipe smoker, and welcome to episode 11 of Processing Whole Leaf Tobacco. I'm just having a test smoke of Virginia Burley I'm working on. I say working on, trying to put together. Salut Arno.
Yeah.
Ça va. And well, I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, it's going okay. At the moment, I'm sort of working on a 50-50 Virginia Burley. I'll probably stick with it. I think probably what I'm going to do is, because like I said on the previous video, you know, you can sort of faff around forever, and obviously every time you make a change, your taste buds pick it up and it appears to be better. But this isn't always the case. It's the same when I make music. There's a lot of repetition in music making, and your ears get tired. So every time you make a change, the brain interprets it as something fresh, something new, and therefore better. So your mind and your senses can sort of play tricks on you. So what I think I'm going to do is, I think this is okay. I'll probably wrap some up. And then I'll give it a week pressed, and then maybe I'll try a little bit after a week, and then of course it's had time to the flavours to meld a little bit, and it's possible to make adjustments then. So that's kind of the rudimentary plan. Do I have a lighter handy? Yes, I do. Quick thanks to a few people commented on tips for cleaning one's palate. I'd like to share mine. In second place, Twining's Original Earl Grey. I always buy my tea loose. I'm not a fan of tea bags. I prefer loose tea. And in first place is the Twining's Russian Earl Grey, which has a calendula flowers in it and pétale de bleuet. I'm not sure what bleuet is in English, but they're my palette cleansers of choice. So it's a little bit too moist to smoke easily, but the subject of this video is hot pressing, and can you do it at home? Yes, you can do it at home. We'll move on to that in a minute. Now, why hot press, I guess, is the question. Again, it's one of those subjects that's kind of shrouded in mystery, closely guarded secrets. I have sort of scoured the various forums and stuff, and I can't really find anybody that's done this. So again, I've kind of taken a few techniques and kind of bastardized them into one that appears to work. Now, why to hot press? I mean, when you kind of read on tobacco reviews, etc., the manufacturers or the blenders blurb on it, it kind of intensifies flavours, it marries flavours, which kind of makes sense. If there's heat there, I guess the volatile oils will intermingle a bit better and stuff. And I personally think there is another reason for it also. Yeah, of course, you know, it's going to intensify the flavours. And so I kind of scratched my head a little bit about this. Now, what kind of temperature would you hot press at? Now, my logic has led me along the line of kind of pasteurisation temperatures, around about 60 degrees centigrade, which is the lower end of pasteurisation, because this will do two things. One, it's going to eliminate any mould spores. I mean, pasteurisation tends to kill off the pathogens, but at the same time it will promote microbial activity of the good microbes. I can't remember the exact science of it. I did go for a stage of mushroom growing, and pasteurisation is very important with mushroom growing substrates, and it does exactly this. It kind of kills off everything you don't want, and the things that you do want manage to stay alive. It's got something to do with aerobic and anaerobic pathogens, I guess. So yeah, I kind of built it last year. I didn't really use it, so I went off to England instead. I kind of built a tobacco kiln. So I guess this is a good opportunity to enter the shed, and I'll show you the tobacco kiln and talk about what's going on there. Okay, so here we have the tobacco kiln. See, fundamentally it's just an old refrigerator someone was throwing out. It's a bit rusty and scuzzy, but it doesn't matter. I've put it on its back. Oh, I'm probably going to steam the lens up now. And if we look inside, I guess it's a good time to quickly cut into a photograph I took when I constructed it. As you can see, I've put a kind of good layer of gravel down. This acts as a bit of a thermal sink, thermal mass, so the heat mat isn't having to do all of the work all of the time. And then I've kind of put more gravel on top of the heat mat. I don't know if we can see here. I've put a plastic tray in with I just boiled the kettle just to get some heat in the water, so the heat mat's not having to do the work. And we have the thermometer here. It's a bit below 60 at the moment because I've taken the lid off a few times today, but it rests around 60 degrees. I have a timer. Sometimes if it's hot outside, I'll put the timer on, so sort of half hour on, half hour off. That's the big one I made on the last video. I didn't do a full 500 grams for the second one. I think 500 grams is too much for the size of sacking. I think this one was like 300, I forget exactly. In this jar here is yet another experiment. That's a few hundred grams of some burley Cavendish I made. I dried it out. I misted it down quite heavily with some spiced whiskey. I spiced the whiskey with some vanillas and cinnamons and various sweet spices. So that's going to sit in here. This is a burley mixture. All through this process, when I've come up with a mixture I think is working okay, I've actually put it in here overnight, because I think just one day of heat does kind of help marry the flavours slightly. Obviously, the reason I'm using water in here is because the steam will kind of transmit the heat more evenly in a humid atmosphere, and also we don't want the tobacco drying out in here. I don't think it'll absorb any more moisture really, because it's quite hot, quite well wrapped and quite tight, and also there isn't really any risk of mould because we're keeping it above mould temperatures. So I better a good opportunity to show you the test example I did. Bear with me a second. So yeah, I did a small test batch. This is just pure Virginia. You can see it's darkened down quite a lot. But yeah, I mean, it really has married the flavours. The moisture content is fine. It's a little bit moist still. But I kind of think a bit of moisture is needed for the maturing and aging process, which is why I think many kind of flakes do come a bit on the damp side, possibly. I think it's a kind of an intrinsic ingredient or necessity when it comes to aging, rather than the manufacturers just trying to bulk the weight up by adding, you know, sort of 20% water. I think it is actually the moisture is needed. Right, let's cut back to the window shot. So there we have it. I'm slightly unsure possibly of the optimum time to keep stuff in there. The one I showed you on the shed footage, the little test one I made, that was for a week, and it seems to be fine. Like I said, when I mixed all the Virginias together initially as a loose mixture, they didn't really work so well. Or they did, but there's a lot of kind of clashing going on, possibly. But now it's had sort of a week in the kiln. It has changed quite a lot, actually. It's a lot more unified. So I guess, yeah, absolutely, you can hot press at home. You know, the test sample worked okay. There's absolutely no reason to believe that's not going to scale up to the bigger rolls. So I guess that's about it for this video. Yeah, as always, any questions, put them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Like I say, you know, there's very little information available about hot pressing. I'd say there's zero information about hot pressing at home. I guess it's quite experimental, but I enjoy experimenting, so hopefully with good results at the end. Well, I'm going to sign off, continue on the quest, and see you in a few days. Hopefully with some more updates. Obviously, technique-wise, we're kind of getting to the end of technique now. I mean, most of the process is pretty. Cars driving past. Most of the process, it's kind of been covered, I guess, in this series. Now it is just a case of stringing up the tobaccos, making more blends, and yeah, kind of just the legwork, really, I guess. And it's going to take a little while longer, I imagine. And the weather isn't really on my side today, hence hanging out of my window, defying gravity and death. If anyone's got any ideas or suggestions of blends, again, let me know in the comments. You know, all input is gratefully received. Yeah, I can't think of anything else to say. So yeah, we'll catch up in a few days' time. There'll probably be some more news of different blends. I think I can see spots of rain on the camera lens, so good time to sign off. All right then, guys, thanks for your time, and catch you all soon. Take care now.